has no lack of scary stories and scary history. That's for sure.
Nice thing. I also had trouble with history. I think what turned the tide for me when I was younger was like, oh, these people are already dead, and let's focus on the now. What's interesting now. And also the thing that frustrated me is why are they fighting for the throne over and over again?
Yes.
Why are they constantly fighting wars? Those idiots. Oh, thank God people are so smart now and we're past that. And then you get a little bit older and you look around like, oh my God, we're so not.
It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. Yes. No, I know exactly what you mean. I think, it's funny. I think as you grow older, you just start exploring things with a little bit more freedom, than you did when you were younger. And that's one of the things I love about writing the books that I do. All of them so far, including the one I have coming out next fall, which I'm sure we'll get to, they all have some sort of root in history, some more than others. Like SCRITCH SCRATCH is a lot rooted in history, but all of them have something. And I like the fact that I'm able to explore that in a way that I think when I was younger would have interested me, right? Like the ghosts are classic, everybody, at least everybody that's like me, the spooky folk, right? We enjoy a good ghost story. And so I feel like they're a good vehicle to kind of snag the reader and get you in and get you excited. And then that history kind of comes in and surprises you. You may not know you're going to be getting it, but you do. And it's so fun to write.
We will absolutely talk about It Found Us coming September, right?
Yeah.
But I want to stick with ghost and history. I do love the idea of if you're learning about haunted history, then it's not history. There's that fun element. Maybe you're going to uncover the truth about ghosts. Plus, if there's a bunch of spirits hanging around, is that really history? That feels contemporary.
It's a weird little blend there.
As I was reading about the dad character, I kept thinking of, I don't know if you're familiar with Richard Dolan. He hosts a podcast, radio program. He's been around. He's an alien guy. He's
okay.
doing the history of UFOs. And I want to be very kind because he was very nice to me. I reached out to him and he gave me some advice when I was working on my long UFO epic, the Book of David, available now. But he gets very into all the secret history, and by the time he puts it together for you, you realize that he sees the world so much different and has for so long that we don't live in the same reality. Yeah. The things that are just givens for him are not givens for everybody else. And he's a fascinating character. And I was curious, but it sounds like you haven't heard of him, but I'm like, this is Richard Dolan. If Richard Dolan had a bus tour, that's who this is.
That's amazing. Actually, the name does sound familiar because my husband and I are both obsessed with UFO stuff, and especially all of these new reports being released. And so definitely the name is familiar. I will tell you, the dad in SCRITCH SCRATCH is loosely based on someone here in Chicago. So remember I told you I went on a ghost tour bus here in Chicago. So that tour bus was run by a friend of mine who is an author and historian in Chicago named Adam Selzer. Adam Selzer runs something called Mysterious Chicago. So if you want to fall down a interesting Chicago rabbit hole at any point, Adam knows everything about everything, especially if it's something unusual that happened here. I could walk into, and this happened, I was in Graceland Cemetery. My husband and I were trying to find a particular grave, and Graceland is over 100 acres. It's enormous, right in the middle of the city. And we couldn't find it. I couldn't find it on a plot map. I was really struggling. And I texted Adam and he said, go over by the chapel and call me when you're there and I'll give you directions. Not even, he wasn't even in the graveyard, literally walked me to it. That's how much knowledge this guy has about who's who lived in Chicago, where they're buried, what they did. And it was his tour bus and the experience that night that really shaped SCRITCH SCRATCH. His knowledge and the way he gets kind of lost in these stories as he's telling them. And I loved the idea of taking someone like that who was so passionate and wholeheartedly into something, and then giving him this tween daughter who is so opposite. And at the outset of the book, pretty close-minded as well about her father's passions and what he believes in and how excited he got about these things. And that was just a really fun relationship to play with.